This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Storm Team 6 kicks off the news at 7. Good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. For most of central Indiana, this was the 7th straight day with temperatures at 90 degrees or warmer.
But there are some cracks forming in our stalled weather pattern. Let's check in with Kevin Gregory for your first look at the forecast tonight.
And we'll get the engine running and make some changes here, Mark and Amanda, as we go through the next 12 hours. Temperature 89 right now. We did make it up and over that 90-degree mark. There's the key. The humidity is still sky high. It's uncomfortable. And the temperatures from north to south, upper 80s to around 90. 90 in Frankfort. To the south we go. Bedford's at 92. And I'll point out, see this yellow here where temperatures are in the 80s? This is why. Thunderstorms sit from Columbus southwest to around Brownstown, anywhere along 50 between Bedford and Seymour. They're moving to the north. Pockets of heavy rain and lots of lightning with that. Just to the east of Hagerstown, what's left of a complex of thunderstorms now fizzling. It'll move to the west of Fountain City. As you look at the rest of central Indiana, we're dry for now, but overnight tonight, our rain chances will increase. A few of the storms may have some gusty winds, especially as they enter western Indiana, but they should weaken as they move to the east. Scattered thunderstorms in the morning, temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll have more on the timing of storms coming up.
We continue to follow developments in Bloomington. First, an arrest made in the hit-and-run crash that happened during a peaceful protest over the attempted assault of a black man. RTV6 was on the scene at the protest Monday night in Bloomington when a red car plowed through a group of demonstrators in the street. A woman who was hung on the windshield of the car for roughly 2 blocks was knocked unconscious and sent to the hospital. Today, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department announced 66-year-old Christy Bennett was driving the car and was booked into jail last night. The preliminary charge is leaving the scene of an accident. As for the attack that prompted the protests, there are still no charges filed. Vaugh's Booker tells police he was almost lynched at Lake Monroe over the weekend. One video shows Booker held up against a tree with men threatening to get a noose. The video shows the men shouting racial slurs at Booker as well. It will be up to the Monroe County Prosecutor's Office to determine if charges will be filed. The FBI has confirmed that it is investigating the attack as a possible hate crime. Today, the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus issued 3 demands in connection with that investigation. The state lawmakers are calling on the Department of Natural Resources to provide information to law enforcement for a hate crime investigation. They also want the DNR officers involved in the case to be suspended immediately. And the caucus is asking the Monroe County prosecutor to bring those involved to swift justice.
A volunteer trainer at Lutheran High School in Indianapolis says she was told she is no longer welcome there because she is gay. Crystal Brazel had worked at Lutheran High School as part of her job with Franciscan Health for the past 5 years. But in February, she was told she would no longer be allowed to work, coach, or volunteer at the school because of her sexual orientation. Lutheran High School is affiliated with the Lutheran Church Missouri Scion, which is conservative on social issues. The school released a statement saying it needs its leaders to be committed to the same values. Brazel has not said whether she plans to take legal action.
Now to the latest on the toll COVID-19 is taking on Hoosier lives. The State Department of Health says 2,546 people from Indiana have died from COVID-19. More than 49,000 have been diagnosed with the virus, and more than 540,000 people have been tested, with 9.3% of those testing positive.
It is now official. If you are in a public area just about anywhere in Marion County, you must wear a face covering. The county's mandate is an effort to prevent COVID-19 spikes that are being seen in other cities across the country. The requirement is for everyone 3 years and older unless you have a medical condition that prevents you from wearing one. The policy covers all indoor spaces, including office buildings, unless you are alone in your office.
The top health officer in Marion County is hoping people will follow the mask mandate. Only on RTV6, Dr. Virginia Kane told our Rafael Sanchez the agency is ready to impose fines if it has to.
How effective are you expecting the mandatory use of face coverings or masks to be in Marion County beginning today?
Well, I hope it'll be 100%, but if I can get at least 95% of the population following the requirement, it will be extremely effective in lowering the transmission of coronavirus in Indianapolis.
Why now? You could have done this back at the end of March, mid-April, at the peak. Why do you think this is the moment to do this situation?
We thought we had some very good, effective prevention measures, and we were seeing a significant decline in our number of cases. So our cases were coming down, our hospitalizations were coming down, the positivity rate of the virus in our community was significantly coming down. So we thought we were making substantial gains, and so we felt very comfortable at that time to just have it as a recommendation.
How will you enforce this?
The enforcement will be through the Marion County Public Health Department. A lot of people may not be aware, but we do a lot of housing inspections and we have enforcement related along with that. So citations will be presented to these individuals, and then we have a court system that we go through in order to do the fines.
Our thanks to Dr. Kane for talking with us. And by the way, if you need a mask, you can pick one up at the Julia M. Carson Transit Center in downtown Indianapolis while supplies last. And the city says you can sign up for free face coverings at this website, indy.gov/masks.
Schools are arranging desks, cleaning chalkboards, and getting rooms ready for your students' return, but there are a number of extra steps being taken to make sure kids and teachers are safe. For example, in the Mount Vernon school system, they sent surveys to parents asking them what they wanted to see when their kids went back to class. Right now, their rough draft plan is to make students wear masks when social distancing cannot happen. They will also frequently disinfect hard surfaces with foggers, and they have hand sanitizer in each classroom. Ashley Lisby is a mother of two, and she says she has seen a lot of negative comments on social media from parents in the district. She wants to remind everyone to be pliable.
I have friends who are teachers in many different districts who are working really hard to plan curriculum for virtual and in classroom. And they're working tirelessly to make that happen for everybody and meet every need. And that is, if our job is just to be pliable and support them, that's easy.
Mount Vernon officials say as of right now, about 10% of their students have opted to go to school virtually. The superintendent recommends parents read all the information the school is putting out before making a final decision. And each school has a different plan for reopenings. We've got a list of what other schools are doing over on the RTV6 News app.
He told them he couldn't breathe. We already know that's what George Floyd told police just before he died in their custody. But now we're getting new details on just what happened in those final minutes. That's next here on the News at 7.
Make a donation or volunteer today.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
New details tonight in the George Floyd case, revealing more of the chilling events leading up to the Minneapolis man dying while in police custody. Transcripts from the arresting officer's body cameras were released as one of them tries to get the charges dismissed. ABC's Oreen Shaw with the story tonight.
New transcripts from police body cameras revealing what was said and done in the moments leading up to George Floyd's death. The evidence released after a lawyer for one of the former officers involved, Thomas Lane, filed a motion to have charges dismissed. Lane, along with two others, is charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder. Former officer Derek Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder in Floyd's death. Lane, who has pleaded not guilty, told investigators he was following Officer Chauvin's lead because he's the senior officer. It was he who was captured on camera digging his knee into Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes. His lawyer says Lane asked twice if they should roll Floyd to his side and express worry about his condition.
He had no knowledge that Chauvin was causing or was committing an assault from where he was at. And in his mind.
Lane also says Floyd resisted getting into the police car, insisting he was claustrophobic. According to Chauvin's transcripts, he told Floyd, quote, "Stop yelling. It takes a heck of a lot of oxygen to talk." The transcripts revealing Floyd repeating he could not breathe at least 20 times, saying, "I'm sorry," many times, including saying, "Mr. Officer, please don't shoot me, man." Lane's lawyer said Lane tried helping with CPR once Floyd was in an ambulance.
In this situation, with all of the facts and circumstances, there's no question that my client had no knowledge a crime was committed.
The court filing also includes these images of the alleged counterfeit $20 bill Floyd was accused of using. Lane's lawyer says he expects a ruling on the dismissal request as early as September. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The Justice Department is moving forward with its plan to resume federal executions. Daniel Lewis Lee is scheduled for lethal injection on Monday at the Federal Corrections Complex in Terre Haute. Lee, a member of a white supremacist group, was convicted of killing an Arkansas family, including an 8-year-old girl. The family of Lee's victims have asked a federal judge to delay his execution, saying the coronavirus puts them at risk if they travel to attend the execution. The decision to go ahead with the execution has been criticized as a dangerous and political move by the Trump administration. Lee will be the first federal inmate executed since 2003 and the only third one to take place since 1963. Put down the guns and pick up the gloves. Next here, a closer look at a program that's trying to get young people in Indy to blow off steam in a positive way and become leaders in their community. Kevin.
Tracking thunderstorms. One sits just to the southwest of Columbus with some heavy rain down into Jackson County. Overnight thunderstorms. We'll talk about those as well coming up.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Staying safe and staying positive. Indy teenagers are getting support from positive role models who are teaching them life lessons during a turbulent time. Our Cameron Riddle spent some time with that group in Lawrence Park.
In the middle of an unprecedented year, communities are not slowing down their search for solutions to an ongoing issue, keeping young men on the right track and out of harm's way.
A lot of the young men we work with are in the system, or they work with us from a prevention standpoint. They're not in the system yet, and we want to promote constructive fellowship.
Kareem Hines has been leading the mentorship program called New Boy, which stands for New Breed of Youth. On some days, these young men sit and just talk about what's happening in the world and how they fit into it. And on a night like tonight, they are releasing energy and emotion through boxing.
We named it Guns Down, Gloves Up. So it gives us another avenue to talk to the young men about the gun violence and the danger of guns. Because back in the days when we were coming up, we used these. You know, you really didn't hear about, a friend dying from gun violence. And again, not promoting violence, but I can almost guarantee if these young men have a dispute with somebody and they fight it out, they'll both wake up tomorrow morning. And more often than not, they might even become friends.
Tyler Alexander has been a mentor in the program for years. He's a positive role model who has earned the nickname Big Brother TA. He knows that spending time here is often the safest option for these younger guys.
A lot of kids that I talk to say that they're bored is the reason why they're making the decision that they make and getting themselves into the system. So this program is to get the kids to come out, burn off their energy, so by the time they get home, we feed them, and then once they're done, they're really not even trying to do nothing but go to sleep.
If there's proof that mentorship works, you'll find it in 16-year-old Davion Shaw, who joined the program when he was just 9 and did not like being around people. Now, he's a social guy who wants to become a mentor and help younger kids who are just like him.
It changed most of my life as like how I look at myself. It changed like the person who I am. And like, it changed me to be more like social.
In Lawrence, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
I'm hiding something from you. I'm just wider than the number 7. That's how many days straight we've had temperatures at 90 or above. Doesn't look like we'll have an 8th because tomorrow, periods of showers and thunderstorms, especially the first half of the day, and then a northwest wind will keep our temperatures from warming up much. 90 was the high in Indianapolis today. Look at that, 93, Lafayette, Terre Haute, Bloomington. We haven't cooled off much. Temperature in Indy is at 89, still 91 in Terre Haute and Bloomington. Temperatures tomorrow, handful of degrees cooler. Well, if the bar for 90 is right here, you can see we'll be below that for several days. The humidity will be down as well. Enjoy the break, because a big swing back the other way will occur next week. Most of central Indiana is dry now, the most active area of thunderstorms, and this is starting to fade, and that's what's happened here. These are just what we call air mass thunderstorms. They develop in the heat and humidity. Once they're mature, producing the torrential rainfall. They're also starting to collapse, so they have a life cycle about 45 minutes or an hour. Just passing over Lake Monroe, a thunderstorm there that moves into the hills of Brown County. Areas of rain and lightning starting to fade in areas of Bartholomew County, just to the southwest then of Columbus. Newly formed just near Newcastle on up toward Winchester. Richmond's seen some showers fade. See this little green line that's coming back to the northwest? That is what we call a gust front, cooler air flowing out from thunderstorms and may help create some more back toward the metro area. Temperatures and heat index feels like 96 in Indianapolis right now. 11 o'clock tonight, we'll pick up the timeline with the weather system that brings some of these changes. A cold front will spark overnight thunderstorms. This is a line of thunderstorms expected to move through. I think there'll be some breaks in there. No absolute guarantee that we're all going to see rain with this, but it's our best chance. We'll take it. First half of tomorrow, the best chance you'll have thunderstorms at your house. Afternoon, temperatures will be around 86 for the high. Temperatures to the south in the upper 80s. One change, the wind will start to pick up later in the day. 7 o'clock in the morning, there's your line of showers and thunder showers through 10 a.m. off to the east, and then the line becomes more mature and stronger, but in Ohio. Our northwest wind will start in the mid to latter part of the afternoon. It's a west wind early in the afternoon and then becoming stronger out of the northwest, gusting to 30 miles per hour by tomorrow night. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, in the 80s, we stay there as we go to the weekend. The chance for thunderstorms is about 30%. They'll increase as we go into the evening hours on Saturday. Well, the real warmth that I was talking about kicks in again on Tuesday, 93 for the high. Temperature by Thursday at 96. The overnight low temperatures as warm as 74 degrees. No relief at night means we stay warm during the day. More news at 7 after this.
A new study suggests broken heart syndrome is increasing during the global coronavirus pandemic. That's the common name for stress-induced cardiomyopathy. It happens when heart muscles weaken, leading to chest pain and shortness of breath. But it's triggered by stressful events, not blockages in the bloodstream. The study involved 1,900 patients. None had COVID-19. They were compared to patients with similar issues over the past 2 years. It turns out during the pandemic, patients were 2 times more likely to experience broken heart syndrome. The findings suggest the physical, social, and economic stressors from the pandemic are also taking a physical toll. Nearly half the families in the U.S. have seen a cut in their income since the coronavirus began. That's according to Bankrate, which says 49% of households have either been impacted by layoffs, furloughs, or a reduction in hours. Nearly the same amount of people are optimistic and believe their income will return to normal within 6 months. Just 4% believe their income will never recover.
Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida will begin a phased reopening Saturday, but today some annual pass holders received early entry at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Those will open to general ticket holders Saturday. Disney plans to open Epcot and Hollywood Studios July 15th. The move comes as coronavirus cases spike in Florida. The chief medical officer for Disney Parks says the venues have new cleaning and health policies aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19. Disney World has been closed for about 4 months due to the virus, and the company has lost billions of dollars of revenue during that time. And we're still in the middle of summer, but that does not mean it's too early to start talking about Halloween candy. Hershey's is already unveiling its bewitching treats for this coming Halloween. The candy company says it has brewed some spectacular creations, including cookies and cream fangs. There's also vampire kisses with a red strawberry flavored cream inside. Maybe you'll like the Witch's Brew Kit Kat with a crunchy marshmallowy concoction. Or there's Reese's Franken Cups with a green cream inside. Don't worry, it's still peanut butter. Ew, that'd be interesting.
All that would melt very quickly here
on a
day like this. That's why you don't go trick-or-treating in July. Temperatures, they're in the middle to upper 70s tomorrow morning, with the rain most likely first half of the day. We dry out in the afternoon.
Thank you for joining us for RTV6 News at 7. We'll see you right back here at 11.